Hey guys, so this is going to be the second part of my two-part series of on-site SEO. If you haven't seen the first video, make sure you check that out before watching this one. So in the previous video, we installed some stuff like Yoast SEO, Google Webmaster Tools, and Google Analytics that we're going to use in this video. We're going to use these tools to help us clean up our on-site SEO and make sure it's optimized. We'll also discuss the things we need to check regularly to ensure that our on-site SEO remains optimized. So the first thing we're going to do is identify and fix duplicate meta descriptions and title tags. I may have mentioned before that Google really doesn't like duplication of any sort, so we're going to use Google Webmaster Tools and identify these problems and fix them. So I'm going to head over to the live screen and show you exactly how to do that. Okay, so here we are on the live screen. I'm not actually going to go onto this website at the moment because there's no data there. I've only just uploaded it a few days ago onto Google Webmaster Tools, so I'm actually going to use this website here. So what you do is you click onto your website, you head over to search appearance, and then click onto HTML improvements. Now this section here is going to show you all the issues with your meta descriptions and your title tags, the things we talked about, duplicate data. So you can see here that it says duplicate meta descriptions. So I've got 9 pages that have the same meta description or similar ones, and they're also short meta descriptions. Your goal is basically to get this to 0. So I've got no issues with title tags at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click duplicate meta descriptions, and click on this little arrow here, and it's going to show me all the pages that have an issue. Right, and I'm going to go into each individual one and fix what the issue is. So for this, it's the meta descriptions that are the issue. They're duplicate, they're similar. So what I'll do, let's say this is the problem. I'm going to click onto it, and I'm going to edit it. I'm already logged in, so let me hit straight edit. For you, you go into the back end and go to your post. And then, if you have Yoast installed, which you should if you're watching this part already, all the way at the bottom, if I can eventually get there. Let's see where it is. You can change the meta description here. Okay, so it's telling me that my meta description is too similar to the other ones. I've actually changed this previously, it just hasn't been updated on Google yet, so I don't need to change it. But if you have that issue, then you need to go through each individual one, as you can see here, and change the meta description so they're unique. So they're not the same or not similar. If you have like really similar ones, then that's why it's showing up. So if you're building a content site, you're going to obviously continue to add content. So this is one of the things you want to continuously check, whether or not your meta descriptions and your title tags are too similar and they're seen as duplicate by Google, and make sure you change them up. Remember that when you make the changes, it won't get indexed in Google immediately. I've already made changes to all of these and they haven't updated yet, but that's fine. Just give it some time and then move on to the next step. Okay, so I've just shown you how to identify and fix duplicate meta descriptions and title tags. Now we can move on to the next step, which is identify and remove low quality pages, i.e. pages that don't add any value to Google's index. So we'll head over to the live screen and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So here we are at the live screen. What you want to do is head over to Google and type this into the search bar, site, and then the domain of your website. What that's going to do is bring up all the pages of your site that are indexed in Google, and then we can start going through them to see which ones are junk pages and what we can do about them. So a junk page is basically a page that doesn't add any value to Google. So for example, we're going to click on this one here, 2016, and then in my website name. This is an archive, a yearly archive of all the things I posted in 2016. This doesn't add any value to Google. This content is already on here somewhere, right? It'll be in my blog. So this is going to be duplicate content, so I don't want this in Google. And we've actually already dealt with this when we was installing Yoast SEO. We unindexed the archives, so this isn't actually going to be on the index once it updates. So that's already been sorted out. But if we go back, so what you essentially want to do is go through all of these and see which pages actually add value to Google and which ones don't. A lot of them have actually already been edited out, but just by installing Yoast and configuring them, they just need time to update. But something, for example, like the privacy policy. Let me load that up. This has no value to Google at all, right? It doesn't offer anything. It doesn't need to be in their index, in my opinion, especially because it's an affiliate jetpack site, so everybody's going to have a very similar one, so it is going to be duplicate content. So the way you can get rid of this from Google's index is head over to the dashboard, find the particular page or post, which I'm going to do here. What was it? It was the privacy policy. And if you have Yoast installed, which you should, it's very easy to no index a page. So if we go down to the bottom, we'll hit this little button here. We can click no index, and then update that. So what that's going to do is tell Google not to index it. So when they rescan our website, it will take it off the index, and that'll be one less junk page. Back here. So that's how you can get rid of pages from your index. But like I said, a lot of them, like the author here, we've already gotten rid of that, so that's going to go as well. Okay, so what you essentially want to do for this step is run that site test, and then identify all the junk pages, the pages that don't add any value. So if you have a page that's like 50 words, that's not really adding any value to Google, so you can either delete that page or no index it using Yoast like I showed you. Find all the junk pages and get rid of them. You do not want them in your index. They do not add any value to Google and they're pulling down your rankings. A lot of the things like the category archives and the yearly archives, any author profiles we've already gotten rid of using Yoast, so don't worry about that. So go ahead and run that site colon test and get rid of those junk pages, and then move on to the next step. So the next step is that we're going to identify and fix on-site duplication. So I'm going to head over to the live screen and show you how to do this. So here we are at the live screen again. I'm just using this piece of content on my website as an example, but ideally you want to go to the pages you want to rank most, the ones with the most search volume, the ones you really want to get showing on Google, and then we're going to run what we call a search snippet test. So what you do is you do this, oh, not the picture, and then you do this, and do search Google. So you're searching paragraphs on Google to see if you rank first. So you can see that particular article ranks for that piece of content, which is good, but it's also showing up different pages of my website as well. So there's some sort of on-site duplication here, which basically means that this piece of this content, or part of the content, is in all three of these sections here, which makes sense because that's the content, that's my homepage that shows a bit of the blog, and then the blog/video section shows it as well. So this is probably something you want to look into. Depending on how you've structured your website, ideally you want your homepage ranking first, or not even at all if you're having an article that you're checking. What I'm going to do is go back to the article again and keep running the test. These paragraphs are a bit small, so I'm going to move further down and run this one. So the same test. So I'm looking for internal and external duplication. Internal is when it's the same with my website, and external is when it's similar to other websites, especially if they're ranking before me. That's even worse. So I've run this snippet test for this piece of paragraph, and I'm ranking first. And there's other articles on here as well, but I'm first, which is ideally what you want to look for. You can see a Filoramas on here as well, but my content is unique and I wrote it myself, so I'm not ranking below them. If I copied and paste this or their content, I would be ranking below them. So you want to keep running through this test. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to try a different paragraph. You don't have to check every single one, but check quite a few so you can get an idea of how your content is doing, if it's seen as duplicate content, whether internally or externally by Google. So I'm going to search this one as well. And as I want, I'm showing up first for that piece of content. So it's showing that the content is unique. So when you run this search snippet test, there's a few scenarios that are going to come into play, right? The first one is that you're ranking first for that piece of content and there's nothing else, no other internal content of yours that's ranking. So you don't have any duplicate content internally and you don't have any duplicate content externally because nobody's ranking before you. That's the ideal scenario. If you do have, like in this case, right, you have this website here ranking first, that's what you want, nothing else. But if I had a second page or like a homepage ranking as well, then that's something I need to look into. I either need to edit one of the pages and rewrite the content, or turn some of the content into a picture so Google can't read it as content, or maybe I just scrap it off the page. Basically, you don't want that scenario where you have multiple pages ranking for the same paragraph, because that means the content is too similar and it's going to be seen as duplicate content. If in the case you have other websites ranking before you for certain paragraphs, then your content is too similar to theirs. You can either no index that page or just rewrite that content so it's unique. So to summarize this step, guys, what you want to do is go to the pages that you want to rank on Google most and run that search snippet test and see what the results are. Are you ranking first for that page consistently, or are there other websites ranking before you? If there are other websites ranking before you, then it might be the case that you need to rewrite parts of that article to make sure it's 100% unique and you rank first, so it's not seen as duplicate content, external duplicate content with other websites. And if you have that scenario where you're ranking multiple pages for the same piece of content or same paragraph, then there might be some internal duplicate content there that you need to have a look at and see if there's anything you can do about that. So once you sorted that out, we can move on to step 4. Okay, so the final step of this guide is to identify and fix 404 errors. So I'm going to head over to the live screen and show you exactly how to do that. So here we are back on Google Webmaster Tools for one of my websites. You can immediately see there's crawl errors here and it's telling me that there's 10 not found. So what I'm going to do is hit crawl errors, and this is going to tell me if I have any problems with my site. This is looking at the desktop variation, but there's 10 different things here that I'm having a problem with. This is one of those techie things that are just like out of my depth, so what I normally do is just pass on this information to the developer. I'd much rather focus my time on things that matter more, like trying to drive traffic to my website, than trying to figure out how to solve these errors when I know there's developers out there that can do this really easily. So that would be my advice. You can go ahead and try fix these things yourself, but I wouldn't recommend it. And that pretty much sums up my 2-part series of on-site SEO. I know we didn't go over every little thing for on-site SEO, but we did cover some of the key things, not only to increase your rankings on Google, but also to fix your user experience. So things like boosting your site speed so people don't get frustrated, things like checking for broken links so people don't get annoyed when things don't link them where they want to go and it leads them to a 404 page. Some of the other on-site factors would be covered in future videos, like when we do a content creation video, I'll talk about title tags and internal and external linking. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Have a good day.